Heyo, welcome in to CHGO Bets Daily, coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm Sean Anderson. Alongside me, my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Our third degenerate is the Law Dog, Lawrence Benedetto.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Also,
huge
huge Arsenio Hall fan.
Yes.
We are here I'm going to be an advocate for straight betting. No parlays, folks. Lawrence is telling me about his, his issues.
If it wasn't that one leg.
Heard about that yet? Don't do it, folks. I'm gonna tell you about why you should avoid parlays. Cody's probably gonna give you a disgusting college basketball bet. I have a disgusting college basketball bet, and of course, since this is our only show of the week, we are going to talk about the Chiefs versus the Ravens and the Lions versus the 49ers. Shout out to James Orlando in the chat. Shout out to Brendan in the chat. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to CHGO Sports. And two, tell your coworkers, tell your sisters, tell your moms, dads, brothers, every family member, anyone you see on the street about CHGO Sports, all right? We're trying to do the best job for you Chicagoans or, remote Chicagoans. Maybe you're a Chicagoan via proxy. Who knows? But let's jump into the Chiefs Ravens. Right now, over at our friends at Circa, they have the best number to bet the Chiefs money line at plus 176. Ravens money line, I think there's a 185, a minus 185 out there if you want to take them on the money line. Opened up at minus 2.5. Right now, most books sit at 3.5. There is some fours out there. You can get Chiefs plus 4 over at Circa Sportsbook right now. Cody, what do you think about this game? You like a side? You like the total?
It's at 3.5. I got to take the Chiefs. I can't do it again.
It's at 4.
It's at 4?
You can get 4 at Circa.
I got to take the Chiefs. I hate it, but I got to do it. I am mentally drained.
I thought you were going to say mentally ill.
I'm mentally ill as well.
Well, aren't we all?
Another story.
The Bills minus 2.5 was such it was a lock for 3.5 quarters, bro. I can't go against Mahomes as an underdog again. I can't do it back-to-back weeks. He's 9-1-1 as an underdog in the playoffs or something like that. They went on the road to Buffalo, who they're not as good as the Ravens. The Ravens looked really good against the Texans. They slowed down C.J. Stroud. Their defense is probably the best in the league, but also the Chiefs' defense is really good too, I think. The weather conditions will probably play a factor in this. It's in Baltimore, so it's going to be cold. I don't know about snow or rain or anything in the forecast at this point, but I just feel like that's too many points. I could see the Ravens still winning this game, but that's a lot of points for a Chiefs team that no one wants to believe in, even after what they just did. And I know, if the Bills make the kick, right? If Tyler Bass makes the kick, it's just a tie game.
Right.
They still could have won the game.
I mean, the only time the Chiefs gave up the ball was the McCole Hardman fumble where he was about to score.
Yep. And everyone all season has talked about how the Chiefs don't have any receivers, this and that. Well, Rice has kind of emerged as a guy here in the postseason for them.
But he looked banged up in that Bills game.
Yeah, he didn't look great. And also I had an anytime touchdown. Thanks a lot.
Well, Travis Kelce, looked like the Hall of Fame tight end that he is. I think the Ravens win this game, but I think that's too many points.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel very jaded that I didn't get 2.5. I think 2.5 for the Ravens was out there very briefly. And then I was like, well, I mean, if 3's out there's probably going to go back to 2.5 at some point. Then it went to 3.5, and I was like, maybe I'll just take the money line. Now it's at 4. So I don't know. I don't think there's a way to play the Ravens if you like them. Maybe team total over. You see the totals at 44.5. I think these teams can put up points. I mean, that was just a 27-24 ball game where the Chiefs scored on every possession. Is that because, the Chiefs, the Bills defense was so banged up, or is it just because Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks of our lifetime, is really good at football? I think that the Ravens will score points. They've been able to get 30 consistently against good teams. I think they've covered spreads by double digits 11 times this season. They are a very good team. Lamar Jackson is extremely dangerous. It's plus 110 for him to score a TD. If you love plus money, I know James Orlando loves plus money. I mean, Josh Allen ran for days all over the Chiefs. I think they showed like on design runs, on scrambles. He was just picking up yards left and right. The Chiefs, I don't think, have the ability to contain Lamar Jackson. He just last game had 100 passing yards, 100 rushing yards, and a passer rating over 100. First and only player to ever do that in the playoffs. I will take mostly Lamar props because I missed the best of the Ravens number. But yeah, rush attempts is at 9.5. Him to score a touchdown plus 110. Rushing yards for Lamar is
64.5.
64.5.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs are the 19th ranked rush defense. Overall against the run, they're ranked 17th in the NFL, but against quarterbacks, they're ranked 23rd. So it's the bottom 10. Lamar Jackson coming off 100 yards rushing against the Texans. The Texans have a pretty good run defense as well. I think if the Ravens win this game and actually cover the spread, Lamar will have to be God, right? Like
That sounds easy.
I mean, he is an MVP.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win MVP at this point. And if he, I think, not that I know the voters, quote unquote, don't use the playoffs.
I'm just saying he already was the MVP. I mean, he's proven he's
yeah.
got that,
So
got that dog.
I like the Lamar. I like the Lamar rushing yards. Again, Chiefs ranked 23rd against the run and against quarterbacks. And he's coming off a 100-yard rushing game. He's gone over this total in 3 out of his last 5 games. Yeah, I think that, especially because the Chiefs' pass defense, I think, is pretty good. And this is not slander to Lamar Jackson as a passer. I just think that they're going to be prepared for that. And it's hard to prepare for him with his legs, man. I think he'll take advantage of that as much as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
I like the rushing prop.
that's something that Josh Allen might have been able to take advantage of more. You see that
He went over his pretty quickly.
Right. Mahomes and Allen weren't pressured at all yesterday or on Sunday, so maybe that's why they didn't really go over that. But you look at one thing with Lamar, he's consistently getting open, scrambling, moving the pocket, and that creates a lot of space for Zay Flowers to be fast on the outside. He had a longest reception of 17 against the Texans. His line is at 18.5 at some books, at 19.5 at some books. 19.5 over 19.5 for longest reception for Zay Flowers. I think I like that at minus 105. I think that's a good play just because, again, if you are an offensive coordinator with a guy with that much speed, you probably want to get him involved. 5 targets last game, 41 receptions. And also you look over the past 6 games, he's got 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, usually, that guy just can run away from people. So I think he could probably run for 20 yards.
Right, yeah. So his longest reception over is 19.5. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, you can get 18.5 too. I mean, there's 18.5 at minus 120. I would personally just go to minus 105 and take the yard.
Yeah.
So that's I like Flowers' longest reception over.
Now, I'm also curious because couldn't Mark Andrews come back this week? Is that a possibility?
I mean, it's on the table.
And I
know you hit the.
I know he made a jumping catch last week in practice. And
Isaiah Likely.
I do like Isaiah Likely. I've been taking his receiving yards for a lot of games since he got hurt. He's pretty solid. When you talk Zay Flowers is probably the best receiver for them, right? But whenever you talk about safety blanket, he's been the guy. So I don't know. Is Mark Andrews going to get all these reps? That's the big thing. They don't have a lot on the market for a Likely or Andrews yet because I think it's just up in the air. You got to pay attention to the injury report as the week goes along. But
Rappaport says he's set to return. But again, are they going to use him more in design plays at the goal line? Is maybe, if anything, you sprinkle on Andrews anytime touchdown. But I think if anything, Likely is going to be the main tight end as he works back.
You saw towards the end of the Bears season, Cole Kmet was banged up, but he has the Iron Man streak going where he's not missed any starts, and it's he's going to play today, but then he played 3 3 snaps and realized, oh yeah, my knee's totally effed. So he didn't play much. So that could happen to Andrews too.
Yeah, that's true. And then James Orlando chiming in with what's Zay Flowers over receptions. It is 4.5 at plus 102. So if you like over receptions total, you can get plus money. And
we like plus money.
I know James Orlando likes plus money. All right, let's get to the Lions and 49ers game. This line everywhere is 7. Whether you like the Niners at -7, you can get that at -105, or Lions at +7 at -102. Actually, none of those books are in Illinois. Best number you can get on the Lions in Illinois is -108. Best number you can get for the Niners at -7 is -105. But that's on a book that was hacked, so be careful using the one with the big lion as the logo.
Yeah.
I don't deposit money into that one anymore.
Okay, so you got to look at it 2 different ways. You look at it from the Lions side, right? They've won 2 playoff games at home, and they are the Lions. They hadn't won a playoff game in 30 years. They hadn't hosted a home playoff game in 30-some years. They have now done that. They go into the NFC Championship game for the first time in God knows how long. They have to go on the road this time, though, and they're not going to have that crowd behind them. However, they were on a roll, right? They've played pretty well. You know, the second half against the Rams wasn't great. You can argue that maybe they should have lost, but they won, and they played really well last week. You look at the 49ers, they're coming off. They honestly, let's sit here and be real. Like, they should have lost the game. They shouldn't have. Like, they should have lost the Packers, right? Like, that's how I feel. Like, they easily should have lost the game. Brock Purdy was not good. He had a legacy drive at the end that allowed me to go on Twitter and troll and talk about how Rex Grossman has more NFC Championship trips than Jordan Love. Shout out to you, brother. But, like, the 49ers should have lost the game. To me, even though they're at home, 7 points is too much. Give me the Lions +7.
Yeah, I hate that this is at this number. This is obviously the key number in sports. There's no hook to either push or pull a victory for, so I'm not playing a side. I think the Niners win, but with Debo out, I think that makes it a little bit tougher. I am questioning the Niners' defense, but then
run defense especially. The run defense was not good against the Packers.
And hey, maybe that's for me to play Jahmyr Gibbs, but again, I think Gibbs is getting now equal footing in the betting market for at least over rushing yards. I think him and Montgomery at the same prop. I played under on Montgomery and over for Gibbs last week, and that obviously hit because Gibbs ended up being the main back. I think he is the main back. But again, I think the Lions are just horrendous. And I think the Niners can just play clock possession. I mean, every drive can be 14, 11, 12 yards where they're just moving the ball down the field. The Lions can't defend a receiver. Like, my issue with that whole thing is the longest pass prop for Purdy is 40.5. Like, that's just disgusting to lay that. I think they're probably going to have a pass completion over 50 yards. I just don't want to lay it.
It's a lot.
It's like half the field.
Yeah. But I do think the Lions lose. Lions have lost 5 games this year. Jared Goff in those losses, 6 interceptions. Goff to throw an interception, -135. I think they'll likely be in a situation where they have to throw the ball more. I know you obviously bring up the run defense for the Lions, but I just think the Niners offense can be so efficient. I don't know if the Lions can be that because we've seen in halves, it took them a long time to blow out the Bucs. They finally did it and got to 31. It took touchdown for them to do it. We saw them be really efficient in the first half against the Rams, but then not even show up in the second half. They need a full game, being outdoors. I think the Niners are the side to play, but I hate 7.
Well, I guess I should have finished this with my 49ers side speaking. I think Greg Olsen mentioned this on the broadcast, but the 49ers technically have one of the best run defenses in the NFL, but it was ranked as high as it was because a lot of teams couldn't run against them because no team could, because a lot of teams spent a lot of the time down against them. So the key for the 49ers to win this game and probably cover the 7, in my opinion, is they got to start hot. They cannot come out flat like they did against Green Bay last week. They absolutely cannot do that. And I think a lot of that just is reliant on Brock Purdy to be better than last week. And I understand the Lions' pass defense isn't very good, and even with getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, improves that pass defense a little bit. But I'm with you, like, their pass defense does suck. It absolutely does suck. But now it's like the Lions were favorites these last 2 games, and now they're going on the road even despite what the 49ers did this last week, I still think they're looking at this as no one believes in us type thing. I think you can argue that destiny is a thing here, but 7 points too much. I'll lay the 7. I think the 49ers win as well, but I think if the key for the Lions to cover the 7 is they have to start hot. They cannot let the 49ers get a double-digit lead on them early, because if that does force them to have to throw the ball and put the ball in Jared Goff's hands more than they want, then things will go bad, yes.
And he'll throw a pick.
Right.
And my bet will catch.
So playing this spread it comes down to, do you think the Lions can start out hot, or do you think the 49ers are going to come out and look like a completely different team than last week? So that's the big question. Now, the easy question, or the easy answer to my next question is, how do you not play George Kittle first touchdown again this week, baby? Because it's the Fox game. Give me George Kittle first touchdown. Give me George Kittle receiving yards. Give me George Kittle receptions. We just talked about how the Lions' pass defense sucks. George Kittle, give it to me.
The only reason why I wouldn't play this is because Christian McCaffrey exists. And, I mean, the ultimate vulture at the goal line is Christian McCaffrey, who's still, minus 350, I think, for anytime touchdown scorer.
Ridiculous.
Him to score, too, is at plus 114.
Again, that's
Lamar
like
just to score is
too
at
much.
right.
That's just ridiculous.
It's still
Maybe do 49ers money line and Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown.
No, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about our friends over at Circa. We're not doing parlays, folks. We're banning parlays from the show. The one final bet that I have, I don't know if you have any more. If you do want to play Lamar Jackson, play it now. There's a plus 110. I gave it out at plus 115. The market's now at plus 105, and it'll probably be, come game time, a minus 110 lay for Lamar to score a touchdown. I don't know if there will be a boost come Sunday, and obviously you can wait and see. But at most you're probably going to be able to wager $10 on that boost. So yay, fun. Longest reception for McCaffrey. I really do think that the Chiefs don't have somebody, or not the Chiefs. I don't think the Lions have anyone to cover McCaffrey out of the backfield on those receptions. He's obviously extremely dangerous, extremely shifty. You're going to give Anzalone on McCaffrey in open field. Goodbye. So over 14.5 is what I would play for Christian McCaffrey. I think he's probably going to get at least 4 pass receptions in this game or something like that. I think he could probably take one that's at least 15 yards and get a first down for the 49ers. All right, let's go into our friends over at Circa. They have tight money line splits, a low hold model. Games will strive to be a minus 110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use a minus 115 or minus 120 split. If you do like the Chiefs, like my friend Cody Delmendo, it's the best place to lay money. Usually if teams are covering the spread, they're also winning the game in the playoffs, so you could play the Chiefs at the best price on the money line over at Circa Sportsbook. And I bring up the annoyance of boosts. I bring up the annoyance of, being limited on sports books. Our friends over at Circa does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. And if you run into an issue, there are real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use chatbots. And you might have to wait hours and hours and hours. It is the spotless, clean, prime Circa Sports and Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas for a reason. And the same team that runs that casino is the same one that runs this sports book. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app. That's circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537, text GMB 833-234, visit areawillwinning.com.
Wow, you're good. That was awesome.
Thank you. All right. So Cody, I know you got some college basketball bets. I know you got some nastiness. I got some nastiness as well. But let's scroll up. Our friend James Orlando has been, I'll use pestering lightly and lovingly. Let's go. Finally. I've been harassing Sean for a week now. If I had to only listen to CHGO Bears all week, I would go crazy with those guys. LOL. I mean, you have to have heard Carm and Braggs together. And he said cram respectfully.
Yes. Cram, respectfully.
But he's been saying, like, where are the bets? Where are the bets? I've been sending him picks of the day in the DMs. We lost on the Sixers to cover against the Spurs, but then we won on under Wemby rebounds and assists that day, so that was a push. And then yesterday, I
wish I did a ladder on Embiid points that day.
Oh, Jesus, up to 70. That was insane. He really wanted to show that Frenchman something. Hey, I'm the good 7-footer, not you. But then yesterday we won on Houston money line against BYU. There was a book that had it minus 118 for the best team in college basketball just to win. Let's go. So we are going to give out one play. But what James is trying to tell me is he's trying to get money to get new work boots. Okay. We got him up to $50 because he played a parlay, turned 10 into 50. And sorry, James, to give out all this info, but hey, you know what? He's trying to get him new boots. And I want to get James new boots. And he's been with us since we started doing this show. Yes. And I'll be open and honest with how many viewers we got in the 20-minute mark.
We got a 6. Right?
We got 9. All right, we're all friends here. Don't tell my wife that I'm giving out all this information. But since March 4th of 2022, my grand total of betting, I am down 5%. That's over $1,200. Okay? Now, on just straights, I am up, since that time, 3%. So if I am just betting no parlays, if I am just keeping, I think this team's going to win on the spread, I think this total's going to go over. If I just keep a clear mind for the past 2 years, I'm up 3%. Since January 1st of 2023, I'm up 8% on those plays. I'm down 20.5% on parlays since March 4th, 2022. Do not bet parlays. Your best way to win, to build up a bankroll, is to just play straight games. Since January 1st, I've only played straights. I've only played something between minus 150 and plus 150. I've kept the unit size consistent. We are at 31, 27, and 1. I'm up 12%. If we are trying to make money gambling, which is a very tough thing to do, I think only 3% of sports bettors turn in a plus profit year in and year out. You have to be smart. You have to watch your wagers. You can't go crazy and think Abu Sama is going to run for 150 fucking yards against Memphis' defense in a bowl game. You know nothing about Iowa State. I know nothing about Iowa State. So why am I going to play Iowa State? All right, let's cool our jets. If we're trying to make some money, we got to be smart. We can't just make it in one day. All right, so let's ride Western Carolina money line tonight,
there we go,
folks.
Yeah! See, that's the real degenerate Sean Anderson that I know and love. Yes. Western Carolina, brother. Well, you know me, and I love a good Missouri Valley bet.
I got it minus 108, I think, and now it's at minus 122. So let's go. We're getting, what's it called?
That's because you're the only
closing line number or closing line value. What's that?
You're the only person in America that bet on it. That's why that number moved so much.
And since I'm such a great bettor, apparently, my big whale play of $10 moved that line.
Sean the Whale.
Well, I don't have as disgusting a play. I like the
I can't find something more disgusting than UNC Greensboro versus Western Carolina.
No, I like the over between Maryland and Iowa tonight. Iowa doesn't play defense. Iowa scores a lot of points. They play really fast. Maryland sucks on the road, which means that they won't defend and they'll give up a ton of points. And again, Iowa doesn't play defense. I think over 151.5, or I think that's where it's at when I'm looking at right now. 151.5 at minus 112 right now. I think that the over is the easy play. 5.5 seems like a lot for a bad Iowa team too. I would lean Maryland, but they've sucked on the road except for 2 Sundays ago when they went to Illinois. Don't remind me about it.
Talk about that.
But I like the over in that game. And if you do want a disgusting play, I am leaning Drake -7 on the road at Missouri State.
Hey,
that's what I like.
Drake is like the best team in the Missouri Valley. Missouri State's like one of the worst. 7 points on the road. It feels like 3 points whenever you got as good of a team like that going on the road to play them. But I'm not. I hate betting on road favorites. But
I know
that's disgusting.
Yeah,
you want disgusting? That's disgusting to me.
I kind of like the Iowa -5.5 play against Maryland. I mean, they are extremely good at home. Their past 2 home games, not against Purdue. They easily beat Nebraska 94-76. They easily beat Rutgers 86-77, clearing that 5.5 spread. You mentioned how worse Maryland is, at least against compared to Nebraska. I like that play. I like that side.
I'm with James. Iowa. James says sold. I'm parlaying both picks.
No,
here I come.
Don't do that. I want you to get your boots, man.
I did check to see like what 49ers money line and Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown like parlayed is, and it's like -170. It's not
still
good.
way. Yeah.
But what you should do, like, if you're gonna play McCaffrey to score, play him to score in a first half or second half, because I think he scored in both halves yesterday or on Sunday. But again, like they're running so much usually to close out a game. they rely on him late in games. Like I don't hate Niners money line and then McCaffrey to score in the second half. Or maybe if you want to do like a little cheeky teaser in a way, -2.5 for the Niners, get an alt spread and then take a second half McCaffrey touchdown. I don't know. I just don't fucking parlay, guys. Just don't do it.
I just love parlays.
But why? You lose.
I did win last night though on my parlay that I made.
Hey, nice.
So did James Orlando. He's going to lose tonight on his effing parlay. One of us is going to lose. Whatever. All right. Hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. That's Cody. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Lawrence Benedetto for producing the show. Thank you to James Orlando for being our number one fan. Hopefully soon you will get those new boots. We will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.